Hi students, Mrs. DePaul from Fort Washington Elementary School, and today I'll be reading Escaping the Giant Wave, Chapter 3. This book is by Peg Kehret, and I just want to again thank Peg Kehret and the publisher for giving permission for teachers all over the world to read books. This is published by Aladdin Paperbacks. Chapter 3. The next day, we saw the warning sign. We got up early, partly because we were too excited to sleep late, and partly because our bodies were still on Kansas time, which was 2 hours later than Oregon. The construction noise from the new hotel hadn't helped either. After breakfast at the Frontier Lodge, Mom, Dad, Bibi, and I headed for the ocean. Wooden steps zigzagged from the hotel parking lot down to the beach. 27 steps, Bibi said when we reached the bottom. It'll seem like more when we go up, Dad said. The Pacific Ocean was awesome, stretching into the distance as far as I could see. A wide sandy beach, dotted with shells deposited at high tide, invited us to explore. Waves lapped the shore, sandpipers scuttled along just beyond the water's reach, and gulls swooped overhead. The water was too cold for swimming, but Bibi and I took off our shoes and socks, rolled up our pant legs, and waded along the edge. Bibi carried a plastic bucket. She began collecting shells and pretty stones. Be selective, Dad said. You can't keep every rock you find. I don't plan to keep any of them, Bibi said. When I get home, I'm going to sell them to the other kids. Genuine Pacific Ocean souvenirs. 10 cents each. I saw Dad roll his eyes at Mom, and I was pretty sure they wouldn't let her sell the stones to her friends, but they didn't scold her now. The tide was low, exposing wide outcrops of rock. Tide pools held tiny crabs, sea anemones, and even one starfish. I was tempted to put the sea creatures in Bibi's bucket to take home, but I didn't do it. I wanted them to live more than I wanted to show them to my friends. We walked and saw only 4 other people. Each time a person approached, I looked to see if it was Darren and was relieved when it wasn't. Mom said, "It's so beautiful here. I'm sorry to see a big hotel being built. By next summer, this beach will be probably overcrowded." There's a sign sticking out of the sand, Bibi said. She ran ahead to see what it was. She rushed back to report. It's a warning sign. It says the Oregon coast might get hit by a Tsunami. She spelled out the word. Tsunami, I said. It's a giant wave, usually caused by an earthquake. Bibi scowled at me. How do you know that? She asked. It always bugs her when I know something she doesn't. We did a disaster unit in 5th grade. Remember my report on volcanoes when I made the model of Mount St. Helens? Bibi nodded. Gary gave his report on tsunamis. He enlarged some pictures that he had found in a book. They showed an area where a tsunami had hit. There were collapsed buildings and uprooted trees, but the photos were all taken a long time ago and in Hawaii. I didn't know tsunamis ever happened in Oregon. Neither did I, said Mom. The one I remember reading about was years ago in Alaska. Tsunami sounds scary, Bibi said. We gathered around the sign while Dad read it out loud. It said that tsunamis are dangerous, have struck the Oregon coast many times, and can follow within minutes of an earthquake. Minutes, Mom said. That doesn't give much time to get away. Dad continued to read. Most tsunamis are not one giant wave, but a series of large waves that strike the shore over the course of several hours. It had better not happen while we're here, Bibi said. I'd hate to think Dad's boss paid all that money for our vacation, and then we can't stay because of a tsunami. We aren't more likely to have a tsunami while we're here than to be caught in a tornado back home, Mom said. I wonder if they have tsunami drills in school here, Bibi said. You know, the way we have tornado drills. Probably, Dad said. The sign had a map showing that the offshore earthquake-prone area ran parallel to the coast of Oregon. Where's Fisher's Beach? I asked. Dad pointed to the center of the map. Here's the town of Fisher, and here's Fisher's Beach. Great, I said. We're right in the middle of a danger zone. Dad read the instructions for escaping a tsunami. Protect yourself during the earthquake. As soon as it stops, go inland and uphill. Do not go to the beach, even after a tsunami wave hits. Wait for official notice that it's safe before returning to the beach. He quit reading and looked at us. You got that? We all nodded. Okay, let's forget about giant waves and enjoy ourselves. We walked a while longer and then turned back toward the hotel. When we reached the zigzag steps again, Mom and Dad sat on some driftwood and watched the waves while Bibi searched for shells. I decided to make a sea picture. I gathered stones, bits of seaweed, pieces of driftwood, 2 bird feathers, and some broken shells. I drew a rectangular picture frame in the sand with a stick, and then used all the other materials to create my artwork. It turned out so well that I was sorry I had made it so close to the water, where the tide would come in and wash it away. I decided to take a photo of the sea picture. I went back to our room, got my camera, and was waiting for the elevator when Darren came out of his room. What are you doing? He asked. I'm meeting my folks down on the beach. I'll come with you. I couldn't very well tell him no. It's a public beach. Still, my palms got sweaty at the idea of going anywhere with Darren. When the elevator came, Darren got on first. Being shut in an elevator alone with him did not appeal to me. So I blurted out, I'll meet you downstairs. I need the exercise. The elevator doors closed. I clumped down the stairs, reminding myself that this was my chance to fulfill one of my summer goals. Stand up to Darren. Put him in his place for once and for all. Dream on. I wanted to do it, but not now. When I reached the lobby, I looked at the elevator, expecting Darren to step out. The doors remained closed. Had he already gotten out and was hiding somewhere, waiting to pounce on me? I glanced nervously behind a large potted plant. Then I noticed the arrow over the elevator that showed which floor we were on. The arrow was between 2 and 3 and not moving. I pushed the down button, but it didn't light up. The elevator was stuck. I ought to leave him here, I thought. Payback for 7 years of punching me. I could pretend I thought he was ahead of me and go on down to the beach. And then when I saw him again, I'd ask him why he hadn't come with me and act all surprised when he said the elevator had stopped. Then I thought how scary it would be to get stuck in an elevator, and I couldn't do it, not even to Darren. I went to the counter in the lobby and rang the brass bell. When the clerk arrived, I said, There's a kid stuck in the elevator. Not again, the clerk sighed, as if the personal inconvenience was more than he could bear. I suppose I should call the repair service. He sighed again. That seems like a good idea, I said. Then, having done what I could do for Darren, I headed back for the beach. I stopped several times to pick up more stones and a few feathers to add to my picture. Something silver glistened in the sand. I rushed over, but it was only the pop top from an aluminum can. I stuck it in my pocket so nobody would step on it with bare feet and get hurt. I added the new stones and feathers to my sea picture. Then I aimed my camera at it and adjusted the focus. Just as I snapped the shutter, a pair of shoes jumped into the middle of my picture, kicking the feathers, stones, and shells into a jumbled pile. Hey, I said. I let the camera dangle from its strap around my neck. What'd you do that for? Darren stood inside my former picture, smirking at me. Do what? He asked. You wrecked my picture. No, I didn't. I stared at him. How could he deny it when the evidence was right there under his feet?